Two galaxies collide when a hunter from beyond the stars enters the shadow of the Empire. In the ancient forests of Kashik, Imperial patrols vanish without trace, their final moments marked only by a shimmer in the air and the distinct click of alien mandibles. Even Darth Vader, master of fear and darkness, finds himself tracked by eyes that see beyond normal sight, a predator that hunts not for power or revenge, but for the glory of the kill. What happens when the galaxy's greatest hunter becomes the hunted? The ancient forests of Kashik stood silent under twin moons. Through branches thick as starship hulls and leaves broad as blast shields, shafts of silver light pierced the canopy floor. A Wookiee hunting party moved with practiced quiet across the 7th-level branches, bowcasters ready. Their leader, a gray-streaked warrior named Sharonta, raised his hand in warning. Something moved in the forest that did not belong. The Empire had occupied their world for nearly a decade, now strip mining resources and enslaving their people. Imperial patrols were common but predictable. This was different. For 3 nights, entire squads of stormtroopers had vanished. 2 Wookiee villages reported warriors missing. The air felt wrong, charged with an alien presence that made even the most seasoned hunters uneasy. Sharonta gestured toward a clearing ahead. The ground glistened with liquid too dark for evening dew. The lead scout approached, dipped his fingers, and growled softly. Blood. Human blood, but arranged in a pattern no Imperial would create. A warning, or a trophy mark. The forest canopy rustled above them. Not the natural movement of Roshia branches in wind, but something moving with purpose. Sharonta raised his bowcaster toward the sound when the air before him shimmered like heat rising from Tatooine sand. The distortion took form. A massive humanoid figure materialized as if emerging from nothing, standing twice the height of a human, its body clad in strange, segmented armor. Its face was hidden behind an expressionless mask, with eyes like black glass. The creature raised an arm where blades extended from a mechanical gauntlet. The Wookiees roared in challenge, but their cries became screams as energy bolts cut through the darkness. Blue plasma burned through fur and flesh. The thing moved with impossible speed, leaping between trees, vanishing and reappearing. Sharonta fired his bowcaster, the energy quarrel striking the creature's shoulder in a burst of sparks. Fluorescent green blood spattered the forest floor. The wounded predator staggered, then straightened. It reached for its mask, and with deliberate slowness, removed it. What lay beneath was no face any galactic species recognized, mandibles clicking in what might have been appreciation or rage. It extended wrist blades that gleamed in the moonlight, and let loose a roar that shook leaves from branches. Across the galaxy, aboard the Imperial Star Destroyer Executor, Darth Vader stood motionless before the viewport. Something had disturbed the currents of the Force. A presence neither Sith nor Jedi, neither dark nor light. Something primal and ancient that existed outside the Force itself. His mechanical breathing punctuated the silence of the bridge. "My lord," Captain Piet approached with careful steps. "We've received reports from the garrison on Kashik. 3 patrols have gone missing in the past standard week. The local commander suspects Wookiee resistance fighters." Vader did not turn. "No, Captain. This is something else. Something hunting in the shadows." The Dark Lord of the Sith closed his eyes behind his mask. The Force showed him glimpses. Blood arranged in ritualistic patterns, bodies hanging from trees with skin and armor removed, and something watching from the darkness. Something that hunted power. "Prepare my shuttle," Vader commanded. "I will investigate this myself." As his shuttle broke atmosphere, Vader gazed upon the vast forest world below. The Force was disturbed here, rippling with fear and death. But beneath those currents ran something colder, the instinct of a perfect predator who had found new, worthy prey. The Imperial garrison on Kashik operated from a prefabricated command center carved into the trunk of a massive Roshia tree. Commander Fal Destron waited at the landing pad as Vader's shuttle touched down, flanked by a squad of his best remaining troops. The man's fear radiated like heat from a reactor core. "Lord Vader," he saluted stiffly, "we are honored by your presence, though I assure you we have the situation under control." "Do you, Commander?" Vader's mechanical voice carried no inflection, yet the threat was unmistakable. "Explain how 43 of your troops have vanished without trace. Explain the bodies found hanging from the trees, skinned and displayed as trophies." Destron swallowed hard. "We believe it to be a new Wookiee terror tactic, my lord. Barbaric, but effective for intimidation. We've increased patrols and—" "You understand nothing," Vader cut him off. "Show me where the last patrol disappeared." The dense undergrowth of Kashik's forests grew thicker as they moved away from the Imperial installation. A squad of stormtroopers formed a perimeter around Vader and the commander. The Dark Lord moved with purpose, his senses extended through the Force. Death had occurred here recently, violent death laced with confusion and terror. "This is where we lost contact with Patrol Unit TK-429, Destron explained, pointing to a clearing ahead. 8 men, all experienced veterans of the Wookiee pacification campaign. They reported movement in the canopy, and then— nothing. Vader stepped into the clearing. The Force showed him echoes of the past, white-armored troops firing blindly at shadows, something moving faster than human reflexes could track. The stormtroopers had died one by one, each death more desperate than the last. But these were not the clumsy attacks of Wookiee rebels. This was the work of a hunter who took pleasure in the kill. There, Vader pointed upward. In the branches hung 3 stormtrooper helmets, cleaned of flesh and arranged in a deliberate pattern. Between them dangled spine columns still attached to skulls. "By the Emperor," Destron whispered. "What Wookiee would—" "This is not the work of Wookiees," Vader interrupted. "Return to your base, Commander. Secure it and await my instructions." "My lord, protocol demands that I—" Vader turned his masked face toward the officer. "Do you wish to remain here when night falls, Commander?" Destron paled and quickly ordered his men to fall back. Vader remained in the clearing, alone with the grotesque trophies and the watchful silence of the forest. He ignited his lightsaber, the crimson blade humming with power. "I know you are watching." He spoke to the seemingly empty forest. "You have hunted soldiers. Now you have found a warrior. High above, concealed by technology beyond Imperial understanding," the Predator observed. Its thermal vision registered the strange figure below, part organic, part machine. But what intrigued the hunter most was the energy signature. This prey radiated power unlike any the Yautja had encountered in countless hunts across many worlds. The crimson energy blade hummed with potential. It would make a magnificent trophy. Night fell over the forest of Kashik. Vader had not moved from the clearing, standing like a dark monument beneath the grisly display. The forest creatures had gone silent, sensing the predators in their midst, one born of darkness and machinery, the other born of stars beyond their galaxy. A faint shimmer of distorted light was the only warning before plasma bolts streaked toward Vader from the darkness. His lightsaber moved with preternatural speed, deflecting the energy back toward its source. The Predator leapt to another branch, its cloaking technology temporarily disrupted by the attack. Vader extended his senses. The creature was fast, but the Force revealed its position. With a gesture, he tore a massive branch from a nearby tree and hurled it toward his attacker. The Predator dodged, but not completely. The impact sent it crashing through smaller branches to land heavily on the forest floor. For the first time, Hunter and Sith Lord faced each other directly. The Predator stood nearly as tall as Vader, its armor reflecting the crimson glow of the lightsaber. It extended wrist blades and emitted a clicking roar that echoed through the forest. "Your trophies are impressive." Vader's mechanical voice betrayed no emotion. "But you have never faced the power of the dark side." The Predator charged with startling speed. Vader met the attack, his lightsaber clashing against the alien metal of the hunter's blades. Sparks cascaded around them as neither gave ground. The Predator was strong, stronger than any human opponent Vader had faced. But the Dark Lord commanded the Force, and no mere physical strength could match such power. Vader extended his hand, and the Predator was hurled backward by an invisible wave of Force energy. It crashed against a tree trunk, but quickly regained its footing. With practiced precision, it adjusted something on its wrist gauntlet and fired again. This time, a net of metallic mesh enveloped Vader. The strands contracted, tightening with increasing pressure. The Dark Lord's lightsaber cut through the net, but not before the Predator closed the distance between them again. Its blades slashed across Vader's chest plate, leaving deep gouges in the black armor. Warning indicators flashed across Vader's helmet display. The creature's weapons could penetrate even his reinforced armor. Vader responded with fury, channeling his pain into power as his Sith training had taught him. The lightsaber became a crimson blur, driving the Predator back step by step. A well-placed strike severed one of the wrist blades, sending it spinning into the underbrush. Fluorescent green blood splattered the ground where Vader's blade found flesh. The wounded Predator leapt upward, vanishing into the canopy with its active camouflage engaged once more. Vader stood ready, tracking the subtle disturbance in the Force that betrayed the hunter's position. But the attack he anticipated did not come. Instead, the presence faded as the Predator retreated into the depths of the forest. Vader extinguished his lightsaber. The encounter had been brief but revealing. This creature was no mindless beast. It fought with strategy and technology. When outmatched, it withdrew rather than fighting to the death. Most telling of all, it seemed to recognize power and sought it out deliberately. The skin trophies suddenly took on new meaning. The hunter was collecting specimens, learning about this galaxy and its inhabitants. The Sith Lord returned to the Imperial garrison, his damaged armor drawing worried glances from the stormtroopers standing guard. Commander Destron waited in the command center, tension visible in every line of his body. "My lord, we've received reports of another attack. A Wookiee village on the eastern ridge has been massacred, no survivors." Vader considered this information. Were the bodies taken as trophies? "No, my lord. That's what's strange. The Wookiees were killed, but left where they fell, except for one, a village elder, according to our intelligence. His body was missing entirely. The hunter is learning," Vader said, more to himself than the commander. "It seeks to understand the power structures of this world." He turned to Destron. "Have your men recovered any unusual technology or weapons from the attack sites?" "Only this, Lord Vader." Destron handed him a small metallic object. "We found it embedded in a tree where 3 stormtroopers were killed. Our analysis droids cannot identify its composition." Vader examined the device. It appeared to be a projectile weapon of some kind, small but designed with lethal precision. The metal was unlike any alloy used in Imperial or Rebel weaponry. It confirmed his suspicion. They faced something from beyond known space. "We have encountered a hunter," Vader announced. "An apex predator that collects trophies from worthy opponents. Your stormtroopers were merely tests. The Wookiees provided knowledge of the dominant species. Now it hunts for true power. What are your orders, Lord Vader?" "We will not be the prey." Vader's mechanical voice carried deadly certainty. "Establish a perimeter around this base. No one enters or leaves the forest. Then prepare to evacuate all personnel." "Evacuate?" "But my lord, the Emperor has declared this a priority resource world." "We cannot abandon." "Oh, you misunderstand, Commander. Your troops are not leaving." Vader's mechanical breathing filled the silence. "They are the bait." Deep in the forest, the Predator tended to its wounds. The encounter with the black-armored warrior had been unexpected. Never before had it faced prey that commanded invisible forces or wielded energy weapons with such skill. The hunt had suddenly become far more interesting. The Yautja examined the blood sample it had collected from the village elder. Wookiees were formidable creatures, worthy adversaries with strength and cunning, but they lacked the power signature that radiated from the Dark Warrior. The hunter had learned to calibrate its sensors to detect this energy. The Force, as this galaxy's inhabitants called it. A new and valuable trophy marker. The Predator activated a holographic display on its wrist gauntlet. Three-dimensional images of various species rotated in the air before it, humans in white armor, Wookiees, and finally, the black-armored figure with the red energy blade. The hunter marked this image with the highest priority. Such prey would bring the greatest honor, but the Predator was patient. It had not survived countless hunts by rushing unprepared into battle. The Dark Warrior's powers required study, new tactics, perhaps new weapons. The hunt would continue, but on the hunter's terms. Dawn broke over Kashik, filtering through the dense canopy in scattered beams of golden light. The Imperial garrison buzzed with activity as stormtroopers established defensive positions according to Vader's commands. Sensor arrays scanned the surrounding forest while E-Web heavy repeating blasters covered every approach. Commander Destron watched uneasily as Vader supervised the preparations. "My lord, with respect, we are exposing ourselves rather than hunting this creature." "That is precisely the point, Commander," Vader replied. "This hunter chooses its prey. It cannot be tracked or trapped by conventional means, so we will make ourselves the most tempting target possible. And when it comes, I will be waiting." Vader turned as a shuttle broke through the cloud cover above. "Your reinforcements have arrived." The Lambda-class shuttle settled onto the landing pad. Its ramp descended to reveal a squad of shadow troopers, elite Imperial soldiers, equipped with advanced armor incorporating limited cloaking technology. Behind them came two figures in the red robes of the Emperor's Royal Guard, and between them, a hooded figure in dark robes. "An Inquisitor," Destron breathed. "The Emperor has sent an Inquisitor." The hooded figure approached Vader and knelt. "Lord Vader, I am the sixth brother. The Emperor sensed the disturbance on Kashik and has sent me to assist in your hunt." "Rise, Inquisitor," Vader commanded. "Your arrival is timely. We face an adversary unlike any you have encountered." The sixth brother pushed back his hood, revealing pale skin marked with ritual scars and eyes that gleamed with ambition. "I have hunted Jedi across the galaxy, my lord. This creature will fall just as they did." "Do not underestimate this hunter," Vader warned. "It learns from each kill. It adapts, and it seeks power as methodically as the Emperor himself." The Inquisitor smiled thinly. "Then it will be drawn to me. I will use myself as bait, with your permission." "Permission granted," Vader said after a moment's consideration. "But you will follow my strategy precisely. This is not a competition, Inquisitor. It is a hunt, and we are not the hunters." As night fell again, the Imperial base gleamed with lights and energy signatures, a beacon to draw the Predator's attention. The sixth brother stood alone on the landing pad, his circular lightsaber hilt in hand but not yet ignited. Shadow troopers were positioned in concealed locations throughout the perimeter, their armor's cloaking systems active. Vader watched from the command center, his senses extended through the Force. "It approaches," he informed Destron, "from the eastern ridge." The commander checked his sensor displays. "Nothing on our screens, my lord." "Your technology is inadequate," Vader replied. "The Force reveals what machines cannot." In the forest canopy, the Predator studied the Imperial base through multiple vision modes. Its thermal imaging showed dozens of life forms within the structures, but two energy signatures burned brighter than the others. One was the Dark Warrior from their previous encounter. The other was a new presence, standing exposed and vulnerable on the landing platform. The hunter recognized a trap but calculated that the risk was acceptable. Such powerful prey was worth the danger. The sixth brother felt a prickling sensation at the base of his skull. Something was watching him. He smiled and spoke loudly to the empty air. "I know you're there, creature. I can sense your bloodlust. It's not unlike our own." He ignited his lightsaber, the twin red blades extending and beginning their circular rotation. "Come test yourself against a true warrior." The air shimmered 20 meters ahead as the Predator deactivated its cloaking device. It stood fully revealed, armor gleaming in the artificial lights of the base. its mask expressionless yet somehow conveying disdain for the theatrics of its prey. The Inquisitor laughed. "So this is the terror that has Lord Vader concerned. You're impressive, I'll grant you that, but you're no match for the power of the dark side." The Predator's shoulder-mounted plasma caster swiveled and fired in one fluid motion. The Inquisitor barely deflected the energy bolt with his spinning lightsaber. The force of the impact drove him back several steps. "Powerful weaponry," the sixth brother acknowledged, his smile fading. "But predictable." The Predator fired again, but this time the Inquisitor was ready. He deflected the plasma bolt directly back at the hunter. It struck the Predator's shoulder, shattering a section of armor. The creature staggered but did not fall. Instead, it detached the damaged plasma caster and drew a spear-like weapon that extended to twice its original length. "Now we fight as warriors should," the Inquisitor taunted, advancing with his lightsaber held before him. The two combatants clashed in the center of the landing pad. The Predator's spear was made of metal that resisted the lightsaber's blade, not completely immune, but enough to prevent an easy victory. The Inquisitor attacked with the formal precision of Sith training, each strike calculated to wear down his opponent. The Predator fought with a style no Imperial had ever witnessed, a blend of techniques gathered from countless worlds and hunting grounds. From the command center, Vader observed the duel with clinical detachment. The Predator was learning with every exchange, adapting to the Inquisitor's style and the capabilities of the lightsaber. This was precisely as Vader had anticipated. The hunter was studying its prey before committing to a killing stroke. "Shadow troopers, prepare to engage," Vader ordered through his comlink. The duel on the landing pad intensified. The sixth brother had drawn first blood, his lightsaber grazing the Predator's thigh. Fluorescent green blood spattered the Duracrete. The wound seemed to enrage the hunter, who attacked with renewed ferocity, its spear a blur of motion. One particularly vicious thrust caught the Inquisitor off guard, penetrating his defense to pierce his shoulder. The sixth brother cried out in pain but turned it into a channel for dark side energy. His lightsaber strikes became more aggressive, more reckless. "You bleed," he snarled at the Predator. "What bleeds can die." The hunter responded by reaching to its gauntlet and activating a new weapon. Small, razor-sharp discs fired from a launcher, curving through the air toward the Inquisitor. He deflected two with his lightsaber, but the third caught him across the face, leaving a deep gash from forehead to cheek. Blood streaming down his face, the Inquisitor abandoned strategy for rage. He charged the Predator, lightsaber whirling in a crimson cyclone. The hunter met the assault with calculated precision, using the Inquisitor's fury against him. As the sixth brother overextended on a thrust, the Predator sidestepped and drove its spear through the Inquisitor's chest. The sixth brother looked down in shock at the weapon impaling him. His lightsaber fell from nerveless fingers and deactivated as it hit the ground. The Predator lifted him bodily into the air, still skewered on the spear, and roared in triumph. "Now, Commander," Vader ordered. The shadow troopers decloaked simultaneously and opened fire from all directions. Blaster bolts converged on the Predator from 20 different positions. The hunter dropped the Inquisitor's body and leapt with inhuman agility, but even its reflexes couldn't evade such concentrated fire. Several bolts found their mark, sending the creature crashing to the landing pad. Vader strode from the command center, lightsaber ignited. The wounded Predator struggled to its feet, green blood flowing from multiple injuries. It looked from the advancing Sith Lord to the ring of shadow troopers, calculating odds even in its desperate situation. "You have nowhere to flee," Vader declared. "Your hunt ends here." The Predator reached slowly to its gauntlet. Vader tensed, ready for another weapon. Instead, the hunter activated a holographic display. The image showed the sixth brother's face, then shifted to display Vader himself. "You seek worthy trophies." Vader understood. "But you have misjudged your prey." The Predator's next move came with stunning speed. It slammed its fist against another section of its gauntlet. A blinding flash erupted, momentarily overloading the optical sensors in Vader's mask. In that instant of blindness, the hunter activated its cloaking device and leapt beyond the ring of shadow troopers. "After it," Vader commanded, his vision clearing. "Do not let it escape." The shadow troopers pursued the faint shimmer of movement into the forest, but Vader remained still, extending his senses through the Force. The Predator was not fleeing in panic. Its retreat was tactical, designed to draw pursuers into terrain of its choosing. "Commander Destron," Vader activated his comlink. "Recall your shadow troopers immediately." "But my lord, they're in pursuit. They are being led to slaughter." Vader cut him off. "Recall them now." The order came too late. From the forest edge came the sounds of combat, blaster fire, screams, and the distinctive roar of the hunter. One by one, the shadow troopers' signals vanished from the tactical display in the command center. Of the 20 elite soldiers, only 3 returned to the base, one of them grievously wounded. "It anticipated our trap," Destron said in disbelief. "It sacrificed the Inquisitor to assess our strength." "No, Commander," Vader corrected him. "It used our trap against us." The Inquisitor's death was inevitable from the moment he underestimated his opponent. The hunter wanted us to pursue in force. Dispersed in the forest, even shadow troopers became easy prey. Vader looked at the body of the 6th brother, still lying where it had fallen. "Prepare a secure transmission to the Emperor. I must inform him that we face an enemy worthy of our full attention." In his private chamber aboard the Star Destroyer Executor, Vader knelt before the holographic image of Emperor Palpatine. The shimmering blue figure regarded him with thinly veiled disappointment. An Inquisitor dead. A squadron of our best troops decimated, all because of a single alien hunter. The Emperor's voice dripped with disdain. "Perhaps I overestimated your ability to handle this matter, Lord Vader." "The creature is unlike anything we have encountered, my master," Vader replied. "It learns and adapts with each engagement. It studies its prey before striking, and it seems specifically drawn to Force sensitives." "Explain." The Emperor leaned forward, his interest piqued. "It has developed technology to detect Force signatures. The stronger the connection to the Force, the more desirable the target. It seeks trophies of power." Palpatine's eyes narrowed. "And you believe it now hunts you specifically?" "Yes, Master. I am the most powerful Force user it has encountered. It will not rest until it has tested itself against me." "Then you have failed to eliminate a threat to yourself, and by extension, to me." The Emperor's hologram flickered with his displeasure. "This is unacceptable, Lord Vader." "There may be an opportunity here, Master," Vader suggested carefully. "The hunter's obsession with power could be exploited. Go on. I propose to draw it into a final confrontation, not as prey, but as a worthy adversary. When it comes for me, it will find the full power of the dark side waiting." The Emperor considered this for a long moment. "Very well, Lord Vader. But know this, if you cannot defeat this creature, perhaps it deserves your place at my side." His thin lips curved in a cruel smile. "After all, I have always valued strength above all else." "It will be done, my master." Vader bowed his head as the hologram faded. Alone in his chamber, Vader reflected on the Emperor's words. They were not merely a threat, but a reminder of the Sith way. Power was the only currency that mattered. The Predator understood this fundamental truth just as the Sith did. In another life, under different circumstances, such a creature might have made a valuable ally, but there could be no alliance now. The hunt had become personal. The Predator sought Vader as the ultimate trophy, and Vader would not be hunted. Deep in the forests of Kashik, the Predator prepared for the final hunt. It had retreated to its ship, hidden beneath the canopy and shielded from Imperial scanners. The vessel was small by galactic standards, designed for a single hunter rather than the conquest of worlds. Inside, trophies from countless hunts adorned the walls, skulls and weapons from species across many galaxies. The Predator, treated its wounds with advanced medical technology, sealing lacerations and applying regenerative compounds to burned tissue. As it worked, it studied recordings of its encounters with the inhabitants of this galaxy. Most interesting were the warriors who wielded the invisible power and energy blades. The Dark One was strongest, the one called Vader. The Predator's mask had recorded Vader's combat style, his movements, the way he channeled the energy these beings called the Force. The hunter had faced psychic prey before on other worlds, but none whose abilities were so refined, so potent. Such power would make the greatest trophy the Yautja had ever claimed. But direct confrontation had proven costly. The Black Warrior's abilities made conventional hunting tactics ineffective. A new approach was required. The Predator activated its ship's scanning systems, searching for something specific among the life signs of the forest world. It needed bait, leverage, something the Dark Warrior valued. The Imperial garrison had changed. Vader ordered the defensive perimeter expanded and reinforced. Heavy artillery emplacements now covered every approach. TIE fighters patrolled the skies above the forest canopy. Stormtroopers moved in squads of no fewer than 10, their ranks bolstered by the arrival of a company of Death Troopers, the Empire's deadliest special forces. Commander Destron had been replaced. In his stead stood Admiral Montferrat, summoned from the Executor to oversee the expanded operation. "The forest has been divided into grid sectors, my lord," Montferrat reported, indicating a holographic map of the surrounding terrain. "Each sector is being systematically cleared by Death Trooper squads. If the creature remains within 50 kilometers of this base, we will find it." "You misunderstand our adversary, Admiral," Vader replied. "It does not hide from us. It watches and waits for the perfect moment to strike. With respect, Lord Vader, no single opponent can penetrate our current defenses. The perimeter is secure." Before Vader could respond, an alarm sounded from the communication station. An officer turned with alarm evident on his face. "My lord, we've lost contact with Death Trooper Squad Orek in Sector 7. Their last transmission reported movement in the canopy, then nothing." Vader moved to the holographic display. Sector 7 was the furthest from the base, at the edge of the expanded perimeter. "How many troopers were in the squad?" "5, my lord, our most experienced unit." "They are already dead," Vader stated with certainty. "The hunter has begun its final game." Throughout the day, reports came in of more squads vanishing, always those at the outer edges of the search pattern. Always with the same pattern, a brief report of movement, then silence. By nightfall, 20 of the Empire's elite Death Troopers had disappeared without firing a single shot that reached its target. "It's toying with us," Admiral Montferrat realized. His earlier confidence evaporated. "Drawing our forces out and picking them off one by one." "Yes," Vader agreed, "but not merely to reduce our numbers. It sends a message. It dictates the terms of our confrontation." "What do you suggest, Lord Vader?" "We will give it what it wants. Me." Vader turned from the holographic display. "Recall all remaining troops to the garrison. I will face the hunter alone." "My lord, that is precisely what the creature wants. It's too dangerous." "Of course it is dangerous, Admiral. That is why it must end now, before more Imperial resources are wasted. The Emperor will not tolerate further failure." As Vader prepared to leave the command center, a stormtrooper officer rushed in. "Lord Vader, we've received a transmission. It's—" "You need to see this, my lord." The officer activated a holographic projector. The image showed a Wookiee, bound but alive, suspended in some kind of energy field. The camera panned to show others, at least a dozen captive Wookiees, including females and juveniles. Among them was a distinctive figure with gray-streaked fur. Choronta, the Wookiee hunting party leader, who had first encountered the Predator. "These aren't Imperial prisoners," Montferrat observed. "Where did this transmission come from?" "Sector 12, Admiral, an area we haven't yet searched." Vader studied the image. "The hunter has taken hostages, not for their value to the Empire, but because it knows I will come for them." "Why would you risk yourself for Wookiee prisoners, my lord?" Montferrat asked in genuine confusion. "I would not," Vader replied coldly. "But the hunter doesn't understand our relationship with the native species. It assumes all sentient life on this planet holds value to us. Its mistake will be its undoing." Vader turned to leave, but paused at the door. "Send no troops to that location, Admiral. This is between the hunter and myself now. When I return, we will depart this planet and resume our primary mission. And if you don't return, my lord?" Vader's mechanical breathing filled the silence before he answered. "Then inform the Emperor that his apprentice has fallen and a new power has emerged in the galaxy." The clearing lay deep within Sector 12, far from any Imperial patrol route or Wookiee village. Ancient Roshia trees formed a natural arena, their massive trunks creating walls no army could easily penetrate. The captive Wookiees hung suspended from vines reinforced with strange metallic fibers, dangling 30 meters above the forest floor. Beneath them, the ground had been cleared of undergrowth and marked with symbols burned into the soil, the hunter's ritual challenge ground. Vader approached alone, his lightsaber unlit but ready in his hand. His senses extended through the Force, searching for his adversary. The Predator was nearby, watching, its alien mind a void in the Force that Vader could sense only by its absence among the living energies of the forest. "I have come as you wished," Vader called to the seemingly empty clearing. "Release the prisoners. They are nothing to either of us." Movement rippled across the clearing as the Predator deactivated its cloaking device. It stood fully revealed, its armor repaired and enhanced since their last encounter, its mask gleaming in the dappled light that filtered through the canopy. In one hand it held a new weapon, a glaive with twin blades that hummed with energy. The Predator gestured toward the suspended Wookiees, then made a slashing motion across its throat. The message was clear: defeat me or they die. Their lives mean nothing to me, Vader stated flatly. I serve the Empire, and these creatures are enemies of Imperial rule. The Predator tilted its head, studying Vader. Then it reached up and removed its mask. The alien face with its mandibles and inhuman eyes regarded the Sith Lord with what might have been respect. It cast its mask aside and drew a ceremonial dagger from its belt. With deliberate movements, it cut a symbol into its own chest. Green blood welled from the fresh wound. You mark yourself for the hunt. Vader understood. Very well, let us end this. Vader ignited his lightsaber, the crimson blade casting a red glow across the clearing. The Predator activated its glaive, blue energy crackling along the weapon's edges. For a moment, hunter and hunted stood motionless, measuring each other. Then both moved simultaneously. They met in the center of the clearing, weapons clashing in a shower of sparks. The Predator's strength was prodigious, driving Vader back several steps before the Sith Lord channeled the Force to hold his ground. Each blow that Vader struck was parried with precision. Each attack the Predator launched was met with the crimson lightsaber. The duel ranged across the clearing, neither combatant gaining a decisive advantage. Vader called upon the dark side, hurling fallen logs and stones at his opponent. The Predator dodged with inhuman agility, firing its wrist blades to intercept projectiles it couldn't evade. One blade grazed Vader's helmet, leaving a shallow groove in the polished surface. The Predator pressed its attack, forcing Vader toward the edge of the clearing. Its fighting style had evolved since their first encounter, incorporating elements clearly designed to counter lightsaber techniques. The hunter had studied its prey well. Vader found himself driven back against the trunk of a massive Roshia tree. The Predator lunged with its glaive, the energy-wreathed blade aimed at the control panel on Vader's chest. The Sith Lord deflected the strike at the last moment, but the glaive's edge cut through his cape and armor, exposing internal circuitry. Warning indicators flashed across Vader's helmet display: respiratory function compromised, power systems damaged. The suit that kept him alive was failing. The Predator sensed its advantage and pressed forward relentlessly. Vader parried each attack, but his movements had slowed. His breathing became labored as his life support systems struggled to compensate for the damage. Above them, The captive Wookiees watched the battle. Chironta roared encouragement, not for the Imperial oppressor but against the greater threat that had terrorized their world. Vader felt his strength ebbing. The damaged respirator couldn't supply enough oxygen to sustain the physical exertion of combat. The dark side responded sluggishly to his call. For the first time since his reconstruction, Darth Vader faced the real possibility of defeat. The Predator sensed the weakening of its prey. It paused, mandibles clicking in what might have been satisfaction. Then it deactivated its glaive and cast it aside. From its belt, it drew a ceremonial spear, the weapon reserved for the killing stroke and the taking of the trophy. Vader understood. The hunter would finish this fight honorably, with the traditional weapon of its kind. It would take his head, as a trophy of its greatest hunt. As the Predator approached, spear raised, Vader made a decision. If he could not win through strength, he would win through knowledge, understanding. He deactivated his lightsaber and straightened to his full height. "You hunt power." Vader's mechanical voice betrayed no fear. "But you do not understand the true nature of power in this galaxy." The Predator paused, head tilted in curiosity. "The Force is not merely a weapon or a tool," Vader continued. "It is life itself, the energy that binds the galaxy together." He extended his hand, palm upward. "Let me show you." For a moment, the Predator stood motionless, assessing the strange offer from its prey. Then, driven by the curiosity that had made its species such successful hunters across countless worlds, it stepped forward. Vader summoned the last reserves of his strength, not to attack, but to connect. Through the Force, he reached out to touch the alien mind of the hunter, to show it the true nature of the power it sought. The Predator staggered as Vader's consciousness brushed against its own. Its mind was alien, organized around concepts of honor and the hunt rather than human morality. But beneath those differences lay a fundamental understanding that Vader recognized: the pursuit of strength, the testing of limits, the eternal challenge of predator and prey. Vader showed the Predator visions of the Force, the light and the dark, the Jedi and the Sith, the eternal conflict that defined the galaxy's history. He revealed the Emperor, a being whose power dwarfed even Vader's own. And he showed the Predator something else, a future where hunter and hunted might find common purpose. The mental connection broke as suddenly as it had formed. The Predator stumbled backward, dropping its ceremonial spear. It raised clawed hands to its head, mandibles spread wide in what might have been shock or revelation. Vader ignited his lightsaber once more. "Now you understand. The greatest hunt awaits you, but I am not your final prey." The Predator regarded Vader for a long moment. Then it reached to its gauntlet and activated a control. Above them, the energy fields holding the Wookiee captives deactivated. The prisoners fell but caught themselves on vines and branches, beginning to make their way down to the forest floor. The hunter retrieved its mask and replaced it over its alien features. With deliberate movements, it approached Vader, not attacking, but offering something. In its outstretched hand lay a small device, clearly of Yautja design. "A gift?" Vader questioned. "Or a trophy denied?" The Predator placed the device on the ground between them and stepped back. It activated its gauntlet again, and a holographic star map appeared in the air. A particular system was highlighted, far beyond the outer rim, in the unknown regions. Vader understood. The hunter had marked its home world, not as a target, but as a destination. A challenge for the future, when Vader was ready to test himself against the greatest hunters in this creature's race. A worthy challenge, Vader acknowledged. "When the galaxy is secured under Imperial rule, perhaps I will seek your kind." The Predator inclined its head in what seemed like respect. Then it activated its cloaking device and vanished from sight. The disturbance in the Force that marked its presence began to move away, heading deeper into the forest where its ship waited. Vader did not pursue. Instead, he examined the device the Predator had left behind. It was a sophisticated sensor, calibrated to detect and measure Force energy. Technology, unlike anything in the Imperial arsenal, the Emperor would be most interested in such a device. The liberated Wookiees reached the ground and formed a wary circle around Vader. Chironta stepped forward, growling a question in his native tongue. "Your captor has gone to hunt more worthy prey," Vader informed him, "but your freedom will be brief. The Empire still claims this world." He raised his lightsaber. "And I have my own duties to perform." Chironta roared in defiance and raised his massive arms. The other Wookiees joined him, prepared to fight even against a Sith Lord. Before the confrontation could escalate, the sound of approaching spacecraft filled the air. TIE fighters screamed overhead, followed by the deeper rumble of Imperial shuttles. Admiral Montferrat had disobeyed orders and sent reinforcements. Vader lowered his lightsaber. Another time, Wookiee. As stormtroopers rushed into the clearing, the Wookiees scattered into the forest. Vader made no move to stop them. His thoughts were already elsewhere, contemplating the implications of his encounter with the Predator, a species of hunters with technology that could detect and measure the Force, a race that valued strength above all else, much like the Sith. Such beings could be valuable allies or deadly enemies in the Emperor's grand designs. "Lord Vader, Admiral." Montferrat hurried to his side. "We detected energy fluctuations and feared the worst. Are you injured?" "The damage is minimal." Vader dismissed his concern. "The creature has gone." "Gone? Did you defeat it?" "We reached an understanding." Vader tucked the alien device into his belt. "Prepare my shuttle. I must return to the Executor immediately." "And the operation against the Wookiee resistance?" "Will continue under your command, Admiral. I have more important matters to attend to." Vader looked to the sky, where stars were just becoming visible in the fading light. Somewhere beyond those stars, a race of hunters awaited. Perhaps, when the time was right, he would accept their challenge. Aboard the Executor, Vader knelt once more before the Emperor's hologram. His armor had been repaired, the damaged respirator replaced. He felt his strength returning with each mechanically regulated breath. "The alien hunter has departed Kashik, my master," he reported. "The threat is eliminated." "You killed it then?" The Emperor's holographic eyes narrowed with skepticism. "No, Master. We fought to a stalemate. It recognized the superior power of the Force and chose to seek other hunting grounds." "You let it escape?" Displeasure radiated from the holographic figure. "I made a strategic decision," Vader replied carefully. "The creature possessed technology that could be valuable to us." He held up the Predator's device. "This sensor can detect and measure Force energy with greater precision than anything in our arsenal. With it, we could locate Force sensitives across the galaxy." The Emperor's expression changed from anger to calculation. "Interesting. And where is this creature now?" "Gone beyond the outer rim, to the unknown regions. Its species dwells far from our territory." "For now," Palpatine smiled thinly. "For now. Perhaps when our empire is secure, we shall pay these hunters a visit. A species with such technology could be useful servants, or worthy sacrifices to the dark side." "As you wish, my master." Vader bowed his head. "Return to Imperial Center at once," the Emperor commanded. "Bring this device. My scientists will study it thoroughly." As the hologram faded, Vader rose to his feet and moved to the viewport. The stars of hyperspace streaked past as the Executor traveled toward the core. Somewhere in the vastness of space, the Predator also journeyed home, carrying tales of a new hunting ground, a galaxy rich with worthy prey and powers beyond anything its kind had encountered before. The hunt had ended in neither victory nor defeat, but in mutual recognition, Predator and Sith, hunter and warrior, each respecting the strength of the other, each promising a reckoning yet to come. In time, the Empire would expand beyond the known galaxy, reaching even to the distant worlds where the Yautja hunted. And when that day came, Vader knew the greatest hunt would begin anew. Until then, the Dark Lord of the Sith would continue his own hunt for rebel bases, for Force sensitives, and ultimately for greater power. The Predator had reminded him of a fundamental truth: in the galaxy, as in the jungle, only the strongest survived. And Vader intended to survive them all.